No, man, I just when you're confident in yourself and your preparation and your team and you're all in, it's hard to be nervous. It's you know what you did, you know the work that you put in. You get nervous when you don't study for something or you don't study for a test and you're like, "Oh, I don't know what I'm gonna get." I feel like I'm trying to make sure that I know exactly um I'm prepared for whatever happens and I'll be ready for any situation.
Wearing a t-shirt that says never made.
I believe him. I think he's telling the truth.
All right, guys, welcome back to Never Made Weight. Today we got the Texas kid, Michael Aswell. Mike, how you doing?
Great, man. I can't complain. Life's great.
Everybody loves somebody who likes to be called by their last name. It just sounds cooler. So we're gonna
Yeah.
refer to him as Aswell now. Um, Aswell. So everyone knows from the Contender Series fight that war with Bogdan Grad. But for whoever doesn't know, can you tell us what happened that night?
Yeah, man. I got my shot on the contenders about a year ago in August and had one of the best fights of all time. Dana said it was the best. He gave us the first ever bonus, and it was a good scrap. I think the judges' cards were a little crazy. It was a split decision. One of the judges gave him all three rounds, and didn't make sense to me. But I lost on the cards, but I think I gained a lot of fans. I gained a lot of motion. Dana came even to the back to talk to me and just told me, "Kid, I thought you won. I'm gonna give you a bonus. Next time there's a short notice opportunity, Sean Shelby says you're gonna get it. So just keep your head up, keep working, and yeah, man, it was a great night overall. I didn't get the win. I didn't get all the after the media and the interviews and all that, but that it comes with the game and it's how it goes. And I think if there's any way to lose, I guess that was the best way to lose.
Definitely. I think you gained a lot of respect from everybody. So many people watch Contender Series. It's such a great show, and that's basically what they want to watch. They want to watch war. Either somebody gets slept, somebody get make tapped out, or war. And I was watching that fight, and I just couldn't believe how bad that cut was. When did you like? When did it sit that you have a cut? Like when did you realize it? How bad it was?
I had no clue, but so I had a baby cut. The end of the second round, we broke out, like we were clinching and we broke off, and he didn't even like it grazed, like it didn't even like hit me, like it wasn't like but I felt it, boom, but that's when they checked right before the third round, so I was ready to go. Second going into the third round, we're all hyped up. My coach is yelling at me, like, "Let's go!" Like I thought you had the best cardio in the world. Da, da, da. Yelling at me in the corner and shit. I'm like, all right, getting fired up. It's like, let's go. 5 minutes left. And as we're ready, like, all right, hold. And they win. They checked on my eye, and it was fine because it wasn't the big cut yet.
Yeah.
And I guess the fight starter. I guess he landed something and just kind of opened it up huge in the third. But I had no clue. I just kind of was just mind focused on the task at hand. Third round, I was trying to finish him in the third. I hurt him with a couple body shots. I really thought I was gonna get him out too. I really thought, but Bogdan's tough, and you know, second time on contenders, he knew he had a lot of stakes. So he showed a lot of heart and grit out there. He's a good dude.
Yeah, and the fight he had, the next fight he had in the UFC, he finished that fight
Uh
and in spectacular fashion. And actually, I think I saw the punch that kind of opened it up. It was like a right straight, I believe.
huh.
And then the third round was wild. I love that the lunging lead uppercut to the body that you threw.
Yeah, it dropped him. That almost finished him, bro.
Yeah, yeah. And then yeah.
That almost finished him.
And then I
Every time I
saw
go
you were
back,
going up top. I'm like, he's gonna go down. He's gonna go to the bottom. But he had his elbow down. He had his elbow down. A
no,
really
he
good body.
dropped. He like kind of dropped, and
Yeah.
man, I didn't. God, he was tough, man. I think about that too. I threw a teep too, right to the
Yes.
belly too.
While he was
Teep.
throwing it straight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
that
threw
one.
it.
I think that one got him good. Yeah.
That one started it. That one started the belly hurting, and then when we got to the finish, I threw that left. I think I don't. Oh, dude, he told me that he almost dropped after that.
Well, you had a strong test. It was his second fight on the Contender Series, and he's actually a great fighter. You have another test, October 11th. You're going down to Rio de Janeiro. You're gonna fight Lucas Almeida. Almeida. What are you doing to prepare for that fight?
Man, I'm checking all the boxes. I'm making sure that me, as a fighter is the best martial artist in the world, and that comes from every martial art, making sure I'm tightening everything from my boxing to my wrestling to my jiu-jitsu to my kickboxing, and just making sure that I'm the best possible fighter, on the night of October 11th. I'm making sure I'm running every day, making sure I'm getting my weights on point, and working with the UFC has been great. And I'm taking every precaution needed to finish this fight. Is everything I'm doing. I'm Trust me, it's gonna be the best version of Michael Aswell that anyone's
Well,
ever seen.
the fans are not gonna give you an easy time. Everyone knows once, someone who's not Brazilian is fighting on the Brazil card, you know the words they scream, um, something along the lines of "You're gonna die,"
Uh,
and that's their chant. And, how do you feel about that? Did you how do you feel about being the bad guy?
Man, I love it. I mean, whatever they need me to do, I told them, send me wherever, whoever, it doesn't matter. They're giving me a vet in Almeida. He's tough. He's going to be good in his home city, but I'm ready for the challenge. I'm ready for it. They can scream and say whatever they want. Once that cage is locked, it's just me and him. I'm not even going to be hearing all that noise. And if I do, I'm going to just pretend that they're chanting for me. I don't speak Portuguese. So I'm gonna think they're yelling, Aswell or something. So, I think it's a great opportunity. If you break it down, I'm getting paid to go to Brazil. I'm getting paid to go do what I love in a different country and go see the world and travel and be with my family. So it's a blessing at the end of the day. But this is everything that I've dreamt of. This is everything that I've believed in and thought about and had envisioned in my mind when I started this thing when I was young. So I felt like I was just, chosen to do this, and that's what we're gonna go do. And I'm just making sure that I'm checking all my boxes. I'm dotting all my I's, crossing all my T's, and making sure we're ready to go.
If you love being the bad guy, there's a lot of opportunity to be the bad guy when you go visit another country. We saw Kobe do it. We saw Brian Battle do it in Paris, right? So I don't know. That post fight speech is always a toss up. I'm like, are they gonna do it again? Is he gonna do it again? Because when Kobe did it, he really became the bad guy. That was the
Yeah,
start of
yeah.
that
I
post
mean,
fight.
look, I'm not gonna go out of my way. Whatever I say in the moment is gonna happen. I'll
Yeah.
have some things prepared, and but no, I mean, I'm excited to go to Brazil. And there's already been people in my DMs just text me like, "Hey, we're from Brazil, but we wish you luck and respect, and you're welcome in our country." So there's always gonna be back and forth, man. And at the end of the day, it's a respect thing. Me and Almeida are gonna go fight, and that's what we do.
I mean, no matter what the fans say, no matter what happens, at the end of the day, that respect level is so high. It's the respect level for somebody who goes in the octagon and puts it all out there. I know you're that guy. I know when he got called up to fight Bulaki was his name? Balaji?
Balaji, something like that. Yeah,
Balaji, yeah.
Balaji. Yeah.
Balaji. You were tough as nails in that fight. And you went up for that fight, right? To lightweight. And now you're back down to featherweight. Okay. Now, Mike, I just want to know where this journey started. I know you're born and raised in Houston, right? That's why they call you the Texas Kid. Where did fighting start?
Fighting started probably when I was around 13, 14 years old. I joined Metro Fight Club, Houston, Texas, owned by Saul Solis, um, one of the best coaches of all time, the godfather of MMA. Um, and I was young at that, I was just doing jujitsu. I was an athlete my whole life, so I played every sport growing up since I was 5 years old. I just was an athlete, and I happened to not be playing football that year and wanting to stay active. A couple of friends of mine who were on the cheer team did jujitsu, thought I'd be good. Thought it'd be a good idea going to high school, just making sure I know how to defend myself and, just be active. And that's kind of where my MMA journey started. And I competed a lot in grappling events, all over Texas and stuff. Was pretty good. And then went to high school, started, playing football, other sports, all that. And I ended up doing wrestling my sophomore year. And then that kind of led me back into, going back to the gym, doing my jujitsu, my Muay Thai, and all that. Just thought it would be beneficial in the long run. And my coach Saul just pulled me to the side one day and told me, he sees something special in me, and he can make me a champion. If I was kind of big, I was probably like 200, 210 or something, and he was like, if you get down to this weight, I'll let you fight for me, and I'll make you champion. And at the time, I wasn't really playing as much like on the for football because my goal is to play the highest level at whatever sport. And at the time, I was playing football. I wasn't growing. I wasn't doing what I was doing. I was excelling in wrestling and martial arts, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. So I ended up losing all the weight, and I had my first fight when I was like 17 with Fury as an Ammy, and then I lost my first one, and then I
Yeah.
went. I think I won like 12 straight after that. And, turned pro when I was 21, 20. Had two fights before I was 21. And then, yeah, man, made my Contender Series about a year ago, got into the UFC before I was 25. And birthday's in a couple weeks, so I'll be 25 soon.
When is the birthday?
September 27th.
Happy early birthday. Okay, so
Appreciate that, brother.
you're fighting 12, 13 days after your birthday. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Works out good.
so as well, I understand. Okay, fighting, and you told me where that started, right? But where did violence start?
I think it just started from just growing up and seeing, my dad have to wake up at 5, 6 a.m. to go to work, and seeing my mom have to work two jobs and still take care of me and my sister. I think it's just more violence. I think it was more of I gotta go and provide and figure out, how I'm gonna not only change my life, but change my family's life. And
Would you say a chip on the shoulder?
yeah, 100%. And I just think that me, since I was a kid, I just always thought I was destined to be great. I was destined to do something. Um, almost felt like I was chosen just to be in positions that not normal people can be in. I just always thought I was different, and just always kept that mentality with whatever I did, how I was working. When I was playing football, I was like 8, 9 years old, but I was running hills, and I was, doing all the things that, professional athletes were doing. I just held myself to that accord, because I felt that in my bones. I just felt in my body that this is what I was going to do, be somebody, be something special. And I think that's just kind of what it stems from. And I'm in this violent sport. I think I just got a lot of demons inside of me that this allows me to get it out and just express, you know, my pain, I guess, a little bit, or my come up, and just what I've been doing and going through. And I think this is a beautiful sport for me. And of course, it's individual, but we still got our team that helps us grind and build ourselves to the people and to the person that we want to be.
You mentioned you lost the first amateur bout, and I was gonna bring that up. My question to you is, how does it feel to lose the first fight? How to
Horrible.
get back in there, right? I'm sure you
Horrible,
were
bro.
already nervous for that fight.
No, no nerves. No
No
nerves. I
nerves.
don't really,
Ever?
nah, Contenders was chilling. Like, I just, man, I visualized, and I've just seen myself, and I've been there for, if it was a corner, I cornered, I've been in the apex, and then I just me visualizing and understanding like that, when I do be in that position, that I'm comfortable because I've been there before. I've seen myself there already, So the only time was my freaking um debut, my UFC debut. I was chilling, but I didn't know Bruce Buffer was freaking commentating. I mean, announcing. And I just talked to him maybe like a couple months ago. When I was in Vegas for Josh's fight. I saw him at a restaurant, and my girlfriend wanted to take a picture with him and stuff. And I was just telling him he remembered me from my Contenders fight, and I pretty much told him like, "You'll be announcing my name soon." He's like, "I know I will be." So when I looked over, I saw it was him. He looked at me, gave me a little head nod. I was like, "Oh God!" It just threw me off. I wouldn't say it made me nervous, but it like when it made me from like being serious, like locked into like, "Oh God!" Like it made me like smile a little bit. But no, man, I just when you're confident in yourself and your preparation and your team and you're all in, it's hard to be nervous. It's you know what you did, the work that you put in. You get nervous when you don't study for something, or you don't study for a test, and you're like, "Oh, I don't know what I'm gonna get." I feel like I'm trying to make sure that I know exactly, um, I'm prepared for whatever happens, and I'll be ready for any situation.
Yeah, preparation is key, right?
But how does it feel? I didn't even answer your question. How did
Yeah,
it feel to lose that first one? No, it was horrible. I mean, I remember I was 17 too, had all my friends come out on this, and I remember sitting in the bag just like, damn, like, and I was looking great, bro. I was winning the fight, really, honestly. I just this guy was a brown belt or something, like 4-0. But I didn't care. I was like, I'll fight whoever, bro. It don't matter. I was 17. And ended up getting my bag chucking me out, and I'm all sad in the back. And my coach saw was just like, bro, like, what do you be sad about, bro? You fought well, you did good. Like, stop being a baby. Go say hi to your family and friends who came out and supported you. Like, they don't care if you won or lost, bro. I was like, you're right. And so then I just got up and saw my friends and family, and from there, I'll tell you what, it's really hard to choke me now because all I did was back take. I literally let everyone take my back and try to choke me, and I I practiced for so long, just working on things that I got to fix. And I think that's just the beauty of this game, is that we're always going to make mistakes. There's always going to be issues and problems, but there's always solution to every problem. And we just got to figure it out and drill it, solve it, and perfect it.
that skill set is going to be very useful against Lucas Almeida. The fact that you focused on that, because I feel like the fight will definitely go to ground at some point. I think
Yeah.
with Almeida. Um, we're gonna have him on actually later this week. Is there a message you want me to send to him?
Yeah. Just let them know I'm ready to come fight. It's not going to be easy. I know I'm a young kid, a young buck making his first fight at featherweight. And I know he's a 5-time UFC vet now. And I know he's at home, but it's not going to be easy. So
Yeah.
just make sure that he's prepared because I'm preparing very, very meticulously.
Well, I'm gonna pass on that message, but I want to go back to what you were talking about
But
earlier.
respect, though. I respect him as a competitor and as a person. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
But you know how it is when we get in there.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. I mean, a lot of people, there's all kinds of personalities in this game. The super respect, the respect but shit talker, the disrespecter, and it just depends it depends what kind of role you want to play. You
Yeah.
know, obviously, you make a lot more money if you're a little mean, if you're a little witty with it, you make more money. But I think the way you're performing is gonna make you more money anyway. Um, Going back to fighting in front of your friends and family, you said you grew up, you played every sport. Now, if your friends and family came to your football game or came to your soccer game and you lose the game, it's like, oh shit, okay, we lost the game. But when they come to a fight and you lose the fight, it's a whole different feeling because it's so personal, the fighting. It's one on one, right? So what is your mindset when it comes to winning and losing? Do you not even acknowledge the fact that a loss is possible, or how do you play that in your head?
Yeah, man, that's a good question. Like you said, football is a team sport. You don't feel it as much, and I think with the fact that the thing that we forget about that sport is that you have to get forget about it because you got another game the next week. We don't
Yes.
have time to sit back and dwell on the past, and I think that's with our sport. It's we lose and we don't fight for another 3 months. So of course we're just sitting down thinking about it
Yes.
24/7. You know, I'm competitive. Whatever it comes for, like whatever it is, like I'm highly competitive. So I don't like to lose in general. Like we can be playing cards or we can be just playing tic tac toe. Like I just don't like to lose. But I mean, it's a part of life. You can see on my losses, I got 3 losses, right? All decisions, all losses. Like it's just part of the game. What we can't do is sit and dwell and just think, so negatively all the time. You just kind of got to turn your negative into a positive and kind of flip the switch. Sit and mope, be upset, for a second or two, but it's like at the end of the day, that's not going to help you get to where you want to get to. Sitting
Yeah.
around being mad or angry or sad. You can choose to be happy. You can choose to have high energy, smile. Like those are things that can be chosen to do, and I personally choose to be happy and positive all the time because I think it's motivating for one, and it's upbringing, and it's just healthy, and it, you know, that's just the way I live. Of course, I want to win. I gotta win, especially in this game. Our game is so you don't win, you don't get half your check, right? So it makes it even tougher. It makes it even more crucial, you know. And then it's like you don't win a couple fights, like, oh, am I gonna get re-signed and all this? So there's always things that you can worry about, but we can't control those things, man. All we can control is the work that we're putting in right now, what we're doing, what we're getting ready and prepared to do, and then going out and performing when it's time to go do that. All that other stuff will take care of itself. You feel me? So you just gotta go with it on the fly. You gotta adjust. You gotta adjust when you win. You don't want to be too high either. You don't want to win and think, oh, I'm the best and have big head and start changing stuff up. So it can go both ways. There's a lot of things. A lot of positive and negative in both winning and losing.
Yeah, so you're a forward thinker, you're always thinking positive, always moving forward. Um, Whenever you talked about your fight with Bogdan Grad in the Contender Series, you said you thought you won. The judges scored it differently. We always ask our guests, because this is a hot topic in MMA, what do you think about open scoring?
I don't hate it. I mean, I don't see why we can't try it out and see how it works. And if it doesn't work, then no worries. But like, I think we just have to change the scoring system as a whole. I think, but it's just a lot of loops, different commissions and stuff. So I don't know how hard it is to change all that. I just think it's like even if you're watching the boxing Canelo fight, right? They scored 10-9, right? Whoever lands or does more damage is getting a 10. Whoever doesn't is getting a 9. It's like in our sport, it's so weird. It's like how like you can dominate on the ground for 2.5 minutes, and then someone can dominate in the feet for 2.5 minutes. So it's like, how are you gonna say who won or dominated more or definitively sometimes? So it's like how do I just give someone a 10 or a 9, or how do I so I don't know how else you would score it. I don't know if you have to like to like point, or I don't know. I'm not sure. It's a weird system, but I think open scoring would allow for fighters to know if it was a close round, whether they won or lost it, so they can determine how they can fight the next round and so forth. So
I,
I mean,
I'd
I'm not
like
against open scoring.
I'd like to see a lot more draws, because personally,
Draws,
yeah,
but then who gets paid? Nobody.
they gotta figure that out. I feel like when one fighter edges another fighter out very, very slightly, so slightly that you can give it to either side, it would be a good idea for the growth of the sport to give a draw, in my opinion, because the fans are so critical on L's. They don't let you get over it. Yeah, yeah. I mean, forward thinking, as you said, forward thinking. Never made weight. This is our channel's name. Why? I've never made weight. This channel is for everybody who's never made weight. Everybody that's getting into fighting, we're teaching them about it. Tell me about your weight cuts.
Yeah, I mean,
Been
when I
tough for you.
started, yeah, I mean, when I started as an amateur, I was 17. I had no idea what I was doing, man. I missed a couple of times, go to the hospital a couple of times. I was 17, 18. I know what I was doing, So sometimes I was kind of lost, sometimes I was kind of little. So I've been through it all, man. I've been cutting weight low key since I was like 10 years old when I was playing football. You got to be a certain weight to play in a certain division or whatever. So I was in the running the treadmill or running the track and then going on a bike inside the where they used to kind of wait for wrestling during high school. So I've been kind of wait for a while, kind of understanding and learning, but it hasn't been until recently when I got to the UFC where it's been like smooth and I've been feeling like good. And it started on really my contenders fight. I think that was the first time I really cut weight the correct way. And I felt amazing, rehydrated amazing, had a great fight. So, and then after that, I had, two of the other best weight cuts. Of course, the last one was at 55, so that wasn't too bad of a weight cut. I was already low, so that one was easy. But my other one at 45 was, the same result. I had a good weight cut. I think I'm just understanding, the science of it and how to do it. And, back in the day, I had no idea. I was literally looking on like Google when reading articles that anyone can read and doing it in like not the best way, but I mean it worked, but like barely, and I just didn't feel good. I wasn't sleeping and stuff. So, lately they've been great. And even right now, the UFC texted me, as soon as I got my fight, like, hey, what's your weight? Do you want us to make you a plan of where you should be every week? This and that. And they start sending meals out every week for me.
I love
And
that.
So I mean, right now it's on point right now, but
They gotta start sending out the meals for the media too. They gotta send us some meals, bro. I
so you
mean,
can make
for
weight
us,
or
they can
what?
put whatever they want. They don't have to count the calories. We've never made weight, so Aswell,
Yeah,
thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here. We really appreciate it. We wish you luck for October 11th. Is there anything you want to leave the fans with?
man. I just let the fans know that I appreciate y'all, man. Without y'all, this sport doesn't grow. This sport doesn't, you know, it isn't what it is today. I'm not the person that I am, and I'm just thankful for everyone that tunes in, shows love. I know a lot of people show me love on Twitter and Instagram and all that. So, yeah, man, just keep following my journey, and it's gonna be a quick rise. It's gonna be a great rise. Our Gym Farms Fight Club is doing a lot of good things right now, man. We're taking over this thing, so expect a lot more guys from our gym into the UFC. Expect a lot more fighting out of me. Take care of business October. Hopefully, I fight in December with my boy when he goes wins his belt in December, man. So I'm gonna be active. I just know I want to fight. I love to fight, and that's what I do. So war.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching the Michael Aswell episode, The Texas Kid. Thank you for watching Never Made Weight. Thank you, Michael.
Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate it, brother.
Here.
He's wearing a T-shirt that says "Never Made."
I believe him. I think he's telling the truth.